Guys, welcome into a few different articles I wanted to react to. First, we've got major bowl predictions for every single game. And I'll be honest, I did not realize the national championship is at SoFi Stadium this year. I don't know how I feel about that, but either way, we've got big projections, we've got QB battles to look at, and then we have some weird brand rankings that I wanted to talk about. But basically, you guys know how these articles go. They're completely super in-depth. They literally predict every single bowl game. So I'm just going to go ahead and react to these, and most of these I'll just react to pretty quickly. Of course, we've got the traditional Bahamas Bowl, the first game of the bowl season, 11:30 a.m. That must be local time. There's no way that's 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I think the Bahamas is a 5-hour time difference from me. I'm on the East Coast, so I think it is 5 hours total. And so that would be like 3:30 Eastern, which is when I think this is. They've got their projection, Louisiana Tech versus Kent State. Well, as a Kent State expert, I'm going to say, guys, I don't even know. I don't know about any of these games. Georgia State versus Florida FAU, whatever. This is an interesting one. Boston College versus Cincinnati. It'll be with Cincinnati basically having to completely rebuild. Very rarely do you see a team like Cincy lose 7 or 8 players to the draft. So it'll be very unique watching Luke Fickell try and rebuild that program. Boston College should be decent. We'll have to see. The Celebration Bowl. Could you imagine if Jackson State didn't make the Celebration Bowl? They have to be guaranteed to make it, no matter what their record is. For the views, Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter. I keep hearing people say Travis Hunter is going to transfer after his freshman season. I don't know how true that is, but New Mexico Bowl, Air Force versus North Texas. I've been seeing Air Force in a few top 25s. So that's interesting. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, San Diego State versus Washington State. Shoot me. I'm not interested in that. We've got Western Michigan versus Louisiana. Okay, I'm just going to roll. Well, here's a good game. So this is a good matchup. UCLA versus Ole Miss. I'm really high on UCLA. They've got a very veteran quarterback. They've got a really good running back, Zach Charbonnet. I think UCLA could be a fringe top 25 team. And then Ole Miss, kind of a unique situation with many transfers coming from the portal. Jackson Dart, Zach Evans, the 5-star running back transfer. So we'll see with Ole Miss. I mean, it's tough playing in the SEC West. BYU versus Missouri. I feel like that's a bad projection for BYU. I think people think they're going to be better than that. They'd be in a better game than that. Southern Miss versus Liberty. Boy, you'd think Southern Miss would be facing Alabama. Southern Miss faces Alabama literally every year, I swear to God. Either them or the Citadel. The Citadel either faces Clemson or Alabama. One of those two teams every year. Fresno State, Northern Illinois. Fresno State I've been hearing some hype about. Coastal Carolina, East Carolina. The Battle of the Carolinas. That's a rivalry. Grayson McCall. He set all the records for... what did Grayson McCall do last year? It was something with efficiency. Like efficient rating or some crap like that. It was crazy. I don't know. He averaged like 12 yards per throw or something. Western Kentucky versus App State. Yeah, that's a typical game. So we're not even at Christmas yet. Oh my God. SMU versus UTSA. UTSA faces Texas this year in non-conference. Army versus Memphis. I've been hearing hype around Army. They've got a good pass rusher, Army does. And then Memphis. Louisville versus Auburn. That's a fun game. I don't know. Well... Louisville, Malik Cunningham is a fun player. We'll see. UAB, Hawaii, Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock. Wow. That game's in Honolulu. So that can't be Hawaiian time then. Because that would be a 1 a.m. game. That's when Santa Claus is coming. There's no way. So we'll see what happens there. The times are confusing because they're going sometimes by Hawaiian time, sometimes not. Maryland versus Central Michigan. Maryland would put up 70 points on Central Michigan. That's the day after Christmas? Yeah. Miami of Ohio versus Marshall. Who cares? Purdue versus TCU. That would be a good one. That would be a good one. It sucks with Purdue losing Milton Wright. It's so sad. If you guys don't know, Milton Wright was a superstar recruit. He went, Purdue getting a 4-star receiver. It's surprising they get him. He looks so good. He's supposed to replace David Bell, and then he gets deemed academic ineligible. They've got their returning quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. So that's why there's some hype surrounding the Purdue program. Mississippi State, Kansas State, Deuce Vaughn, Adrian Martinez maybe. That could be a fun little matchup. Nebraska versus Iowa State. That's a fun one. Pittsburgh, UCF. Yes, I'm not high on Pittsburgh this year personally. West Virginia, Tennessee. I feel like these teams faced off in a home-and-home game a few years ago. Virginia Tech versus Washington. The San Diego County Credit Bowl. Credit Union Holiday. Jesus Christ, these names. Baylor versus Arkansas. With Baylor, I feel like everyone in the Big 12 is going to eat each other this year. There's a lot of good teams, but there's no great teams. I mean, Texas, we'll see. Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU. There's a lot of... I don't think Baylor's going to win more than 8 games, personally. Arkansas should be interesting with KJ Jefferson. North Carolina, Minnesota. Minnesota is getting some hype in the Big Ten West. Miami versus Texas. Wow. Well, I think Miami's going to be in a better bowl than the Cheez-It Bowl. Good Lord. Texas, I could see Texas being in the Cheez-It Bowl, honestly. That would be a nice matchup for the Cheez-It Bowl, though. Miami versus Texas. Oklahoma State versus Utah. Wow. That would be disappointing for Utah. There's a lot of people that expect Utah to make a New Year's Six Bowl again, or at least come close. So they must think USC makes the New Year's Six Bowl then. We've got Wake Forest versus Iowa. Yeah, I'm not high on either of these teams. I think Iowa's a 7-win team. Wake Forest is also a 7-win team. Virginia, Arizona State. I love Virginia. Love Brennan Armstrong. Love that offense. Arizona State. It seems like they always go 6-6, maybe 7-5 if you're lucky. Woo, Florida State. Wow, Florida State making a good bowl. The Gator Bowl is not bad. Kentucky's not a bad team either. I don't think Florida State's going to be that good. Florida State would have to win 8 games to be in this bowl. I don't see it. The Arizona Bowl, Toledo, Boise State. Boise State, the model of consistency. We've got the Music City Bowl. Oh, Nissan Stadium, that dump. Michigan State versus South Carolina. Yeah, I could see that matchup, honestly. I think they nailed that matchup. Spencer Rattler. We've got LSU versus Wisconsin. Who remembers when LSU and Wisconsin played back when Leonard Fournette was at LSU at Lambeau Field? Yeah, I remember that. Wisconsin won 17-13 or something. Honestly, that's just me going by memory. That probably was the final score. I got this weird memory. Penn State versus Florida. That's a good game. Penn State always seems to be in these mid-tier bowls now. They're in good bowls, but it's just before the New Year's Six. Remember when they faced Kentucky? I think they lost to Kentucky 3 years ago. That might not have been 3 years ago. Maybe it was 2. Who did they face when they had Micah Parsons? Memphis. That's who it was. They faced Memphis. That was the Cotton Bowl or something. I remember that. So now we've got the New Year's Six games. We've got NC State versus Notre Dame. I like that. That's a nice little matchup. NC State, Notre Dame. That would be a fun one. We've got A&M versus Oklahoma. I don't know about A&M making a New Year's Six game. I mean, certainly they're talented enough, but they're just really young. Oklahoma, yeah, I could see them making a New Year's Six game. USC versus Houston. That's a spicy matchup. Very rare. Very rare matchup. Rose Bowl, Michigan, Oregon. So basically every Rose Bowl prediction I've seen includes Michigan because everyone expects Michigan to basically, run through the regular season because they've got a really easy non-conference and then lose to Ohio State. Ohio State goes to the playoffs. Michigan gets the best non-playoff bowl for the Big Ten, which would be the Rose Bowl. I've seen Michigan versus USC. I've seen Michigan versus Utah. I've seen Michigan versus Oregon. I like the Oregon prediction. I really like Oregon making a New Year's Six Bowl this year due to their schedule and their veteran, and they've got a talented defense, underrated defense. They've recruited really well there. Next games, we've got the semifinal games. We've got, oh my goodness. Yeah, we've got Alabama versus Georgia no way. So there's no way this could happen. This would basically be a rematch of the SEC championship game. They would not allow this. And then, oh my God. So they're going with Alabama versus Georgia and Ohio State versus Clemson. Maybe a little boring. I mean, I don't know if you could pick two more boring matchups than that. You know, Ohio State, Clemson making the playoff, I just don't know if I can buy that. Georgia, I already think, is not making it anyways, but Clemson making it would be surprising. Alabama and Ohio State, I honestly, I think I would show people respect if they predicted either Alabama or Ohio State to miss the playoff, because every projection I've seen has both Alabama and Ohio State in the college football playoff. And then they've got the national championship game. It is at SoFi. Wait, where would Ohio State be playing? Oh, not that dump again. Dude, I am so sick of State Farm Stadium. It was University of Phoenix. You guys know, Arizona Cardinals. It's a dump. But they keep playing games there. Mercedes-Benz. Oh my God, dude. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a semifinal game? Mercedes-Benz, a.k.a. SEC, the heart of SEC country. And the game is Alabama versus Georgia. Oh my God, dude. There's no way they would do that. Not in the semifinal. They would split them up. Because they would just face each other. There's no way. So, that is the fight. They actually don't have a winner. Well, who's the national championship winner? I don't think they have that. But guys, there's actually these quarterback, you can see these quarterback battles. I was looking at this. Some interesting battles. LSU, I didn't realize LSU actually has 3 solid quarterbacks. But when it comes to who's going to win the job, Jayden Daniels is going to win the job. I'm just telling you guys. Michigan, if you're a Michigan fan, you have to be hoping that J.J. McCarthy starts week 1. If J.J. McCarthy is not starting week 1, there's 1 or 2 reasons. Number 1, he was overrated as a recruit. Number 2, Jim Harbaugh is just a buffoon. I mean, listen, like, you literally have the perfect setup. Colorado State, Hawaii, and Connecticut. First 3 weeks, all at home. J.J. McCarthy, get him a ton of playing time, get him comfortable. He should be the more talented option. You should roll with him if you're Michigan. By the way, I saw this thing with Missouri. Apparently, their starting quarterback transferred to frickin' Indiana. That is not a good sign for them. Texas A&M. So, yeah, this is a really interesting battle. Max Johnson is the transfer from LSU. I think he's probably the least talented out of the 3 quarterbacks, but he has the most experience. So do you want to roll with a true freshman 5-star? It's always tough. It's always tough starting true freshman quarterbacks. It always is. And then there's just some other jobs, UCF and whatever. But I just wanted to go over that and look at kind of the bowl predictions. These predictions, I did not look at this beforehand, so yeah, if this is like Alabama versus Georgia, that is not what we wanted there. I thought these were going to be like Alabama versus NC State. You know, guys, when it comes to predictions, I've seen a lot of people are saying Alabama versus Utah and Ohio State versus NC State, or Ohio State versus, like, you know, Clemson. That's the probably the most popular one is Alabama versus either NC State or Utah, and then Ohio State versus either Clemson or... yeah, that's basically it. But either way, guys, these predictions, there's no way. I mean, I could see Ohio State and Clemson facing, but this is literally impossible. These teams would face each other in the SEC Championship, and then they would not have them face again. They would split them up. They would make one of them probably a 1 seed, or like one of them would be a 3 seed, the other would be a 4 seed, so they'd be split up in the semifinal. So, I don't know how that would happen, But I don't think that's something that could happen. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. A link to that is always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.